Good evening. My name is Dr. John White. I'm the Chief Medical Officer at WebMD and your host for the 2021 NORD Rare Impact Awards. Tonight we honor outstanding individuals, organizations, and innovators for their exceptional work benefiting the rare disease community. It's wonderful to be back and seeing the show again after last year's first ever virtual Rare Impact Awards. I'm humbled by the tenacity, ingenuity, and heart that all of this year's honorees have shown in their work and advocacy. As we get started, I'd like to introduce the President and CEO of the National Organization for Rare Disorders, who will kick off tonight's show. Peter, take it away.
Thank you, Dr. White. I'm delighted to welcome everyone to our 2021 Virtual Rare Impact Awards. We're about to meet some very inspiring people from across the country, each using their drive and passion to make a difference for people living with rare diseases. Despite the pandemic, we continue to see progress in the fight against rare diseases. I want to take a moment to recognize and thank those companies that had a therapy approved this last year. I would also like to thank the staff at the FDA and NIH for their continued commitment to the rare disease community. And finally, I would like to recognize and thank every rare disease advocate around the country. Your dedication, your commitment, and your energy makes a difference. I want to extend a special thank you to our generous sponsors as well, because without your support, none of this would be happening this evening. I'd also like to acknowledge NORD's hardworking and dedicated staff, and of course, our board of directors and their leadership and commitment. Last year, it was hard to anticipate what 2021 might bring. For many of us, it's been a hopeful year, as the rollout of vaccines offers assurance that the worst of the pandemic is behind us. But for rare disease patients, there's still many challenges and much to be done. 95% of all rare diseases still have no FDA-approved therapy, and the journey to an accurate diagnosis continues to take too long. But one lesson we have all learned from the pandemic is clear. No challenge is too large, and together, unified in our cause, anything is possible. As I said, we've made progress, but we need your support to continue the fight against rare diseases. At the bottom of the screen, there's some information on how you could make a charitable donation to NORD. Together, we can make a real difference in the lives of the over 25 million Americans touched by rare diseases. And now it's my honor to present the first award of the evening. Dr. Chris Austin was a founding director of the National Center for Advancing Translational Sciences, a position he's held for close to a decade. At NCATS, he's been an innovator, a collaborator, problem solver, and a challenger of the status quo, and also a good friend of NORD's. His drive to improve translational process has been fueled by his experience as a geneticist, drug developer, neuroscientist, and medical doctor. A former chair of the International Rare Disease Research Consortium, we know Dr. Austin will continue to make an impact in his new role as CEO partner at Flagship Pioneering. It's my pleasure to present Dr. Chris Austin with this special recognition for his decades of work and support of the rare disease community.
Thank you. It is a singular honor for me to accept this special recognition from NORD as part of the 2021 Rare Impact Awards. For my entire career as a neurologist, geneticist, drug developer, and translational scientist, I've had a special commitment to patients with rare diseases and the scientific, medical, family, and societal issues they present. During my 20 years at the NIH, I had the privilege of founding and directing collaborative scientific programs that accelerated the understanding, diagnosis, and treatment of rare diseases, including the NIH Chemical Genomics Center and the Therapeutics for Rare and Neglected Diseases program. Upon becoming director of the National Center for Advancing Translational Sciences, I had the great fortune of inheriting the NIH Office of Rare Diseases Research and the Rare Diseases Clinical Research Network, which have done so much to advance rare disease awareness and treatment. And we've begun to change the narrative on rare diseases to what we all know, that they are a major public health problem deserving of much more attention and, yes, funding. In all of this, my greatest joy has been to work with the very special patients, families, researchers, doctors, and foundations that make up the rare diseases community. Everything I have done has been in collaboration with patients, and we have put patients very publicly at the center of all we do. When people ask me what the secret sauce is that makes NCAT so successful, I always answer two things: patient involvement and collaboration. NORD has been a partner, a counselor, collaborator, and a guiding light in all of my work. As I move on now from the NIH to a new role in the private sector, my commitment and focus on rare diseases will not change. I look forward to continuing to work with NORD and with all of you to bring more treatments to more rare disease patients more quickly.
Our next Rare Impact Award honoree is a state legislator representing Massachusetts' 11th House District. Representative Hannah Kane is an incredible advocate for the rare disease community. She was the lead legislative sponsor for the Rare Disease Advisory Council bill that was passed earlier this year in her state. Representative Kane went above and beyond to stay connected with advocates and the NORD staff, ultimately securing the bill into a larger healthcare package that was signed into law in January. NORD is proud to present a 2021 Rare Impact Award to Representative Hannah Kane.
Thank you to NORD for your work on behalf of the millions of Americans living with rare diseases, and those of us who love them, care for them, research treatments and cures for them, and change laws for them. You are a beacon of hope for many, and I am so grateful for the critical advocacy voice you bring and for the symphony of advocacy voices you harness in our collective efforts to raise awareness, find cures, and save lives. I am so thrilled to be recognized alongside tonight's incredible honorees. I would also like to thank the many people, partners, legislators, and advocates in Massachusetts who worked alongside my colleague, Representative Joe McKenna, and I to get our Rare Disease Advisory Council legislation passed and signed into law this past January. I'm pleased to share with you that I have been named to the newly formed Massachusetts RDAC, where I will continue to be a strong advocate and loud voice for the rare disease community. As parent of a daughter with 2 chronic diseases, I recognize how challenging it can be to navigate getting a diagnosis and accessing care for a non-rare disease. And I have learned from advocates, caregivers, and patients themselves just how much more difficult it is for a rare disease, especially during the pandemic. With the tremendous advocacy work of NORD and all the partner organizations, and the ongoing establishment of more and more rare disease advisory councils in states across the country, and with the united strength of the rare disease community, I am hopeful that no rare disease patient will ever feel alone or without hope for a bright future. And I am committed to doing all that I can to make that so. Thank you.
Our next honoree is Washington State's first female U.S. Senator. As chair of the United States Senate Committee on Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions, and a member of the Appropriations Committee, Senator Patty Murray has championed many health priorities. Among them, expanding access to quality health care, while working to lower costs and ensure access to mental health coverage and services. Senator Murray helped pass healthcare reform legislation that ensures Americans have access to quality, affordable healthcare. She also introduced legislation included in the final FDA reauthorization, which ensures drugs and medical devices are specifically tested, labeled, and proven to be safe and effective for children. Additionally, Senator Murray has supported federal telehealth programs, which use technology to connect people in rural or underserved areas to critical healthcare services. NORD is honored to present a 2021 Rare Impact Award to Senator Patty Murray.
I'm
I'm so honored to receive the Rare Impact Award from the National Organization for Rare Disorders. I've heard from so many people in Washington State who are fighting for their lives against a rare disease, and I'm proud to be fighting for them in Congress. I know just because fewer people are fighting a disease, that doesn't mean the fight is any less devastating for their families or any less important than the common ones. And it doesn't mean we don't need to help in any way we can. That is why I've worked in a bipartisan way in recent years to pass the 21st Century Cures Act and increase investments in biomedical research by billions of dollars to support groundbreaking science on diseases across the board. Of course, even the best breakthrough only makes a difference if people can actually get it. That means we need to bring down skyrocketing drug costs and make sure every person has quality, affordable health care coverage so they can get the drugs and treatments and supports that they need. That's why I pushed to make sure the American Rescue Plan included the largest health coverage expansion since the Affordable Care Act, as well as funding for home and community-based services. And I'm continuing to push for bold steps to make sure health care in this country is truly a right, not a privilege, no matter who you are or what you're fighting. Thank you.
Primary hyperoxaluria type 1, or PH type 1, is a rare genetic disease characterized by oxalate overproduction, resulting in kidney and urinary stones. PH type 1 often causes progressive kidney damage and failure and systemic organ dysfunction. In November 2020, Alnylam Pharmaceuticals received FDA approval on its Oxlumo injection for subcutaneous use, the first ever therapy available for the treatment of PH type 1 to lower urinary oxalate levels in pediatric and adult patients. Please welcome Megan Pendleton, a patient who will present the 2021 Industry Innovation Award to Alnylam Pharmaceuticals.
Hi, my name is Megan. My daughter Sophia was diagnosed with a rare genetic condition called primary hyperoxaluria type 1, also known as PH1. This is a liver disease that causes an overproduction of oxalate, leading to kidney stones, infections, and ultimately kidney failure. Sophia started showing signs of PH1 at the age of 3.5. She had a serious infection of her kidney caused by stones. In October of 2016, Sophia had her first lithotripsy procedure to break up the stones. We found out that she had 2 others in her left kidney, and the following year, she had a second infection leading to another series of procedures. In Sophia's 8 years of life, she has been hospitalized for infections and obstructions caused by PH1. She's been to multiple specialists, endured many diagnostic and medical procedures, as well as maintaining a daily fluid intake of at least 2 to 3 liters. Prior to 2020, there's never been a definitive treatment for PH1. That changed when Oxlumo was developed by Alnylam Pharmaceuticals and approved by the FDA. Sophia started Oxlumo in March of this year. Because of this new medication, my daughter may never need to face dialysis or organ transplant. I'm so grateful for this promising new med that will brighten the future for Sophia and the other families affected by this rare disease. On behalf of all people living with PH1, it is my pleasure to present Alnylam Pharmaceuticals with the NORD Industry Innovation Award.
Hello, everyone. I'm honored to accept this award on behalf of our company and to express our deepest gratitude to NORD. We are humbled to receive our 3rd Innovation Award in 3 years and to be among the other esteemed honorees being recognized today. Alnylam has been working to develop a novel class of medicines based upon RNA interference, or RNAi, for almost 2 decades now. Because of the opportunity to help people living with rare diseases like primary hyperoxaluria type 1, or PH1. Previously, patients living with this disease had limited treatment options other than liver and kidney transplant. In November 2020, the FDA approved Oxlumo for the treatment of PH1 to lower urinary oxalate in pediatric and adult patients. It's incredibly rewarding and humbling to hear testimonies from patients who have been treated with Oxlumo and to receive this recognition today. We share this award with the PH1 community and the Oxalosis and Hyperoxaluria Foundation, who have contributed so much to this important medical advancement. Without the hard work of patients and their advocates over many decades, we would not be here today. Thank you for accepting the challenge with us to help make Oxlumo a reality and bring this important medicine to the patients who need it.
Jade Day knows firsthand the challenges of raising a child with several rare diseases, one of which is FG syndrome type 1. She refused to accept that her son Gavin's quality of life, even if he lived, would be exceptionally low. It took over 7 years for Gavin to get a diagnosis, but with Jade as his champion, he continues to thrive in spite of the odds. Outside her home life of being a mother to her 3 boys, Jade is vice president of A Twist of Fate, arterial tortuosity syndrome. She served on the board of the Oklahoma Disability Law Center and lobbied nationally for rare disease causes in Washington, D.C. Jade helped form the first rare disorders work group at the Indian Health Service, and as a member of the Cherokee Nation, has brought awareness to the existence and prevalence of rare diseases to that community. NORD is proud to present a 2021 Rare Impact Award to Jade Day.
Lucia, thank you, NORD, for this incredible honor to be receiving the Rare Impact Award. It means so much to me personally. I started this journey as a mom to an undiagnosed son. He eventually got a diagnosis by a whole exome sequencing. He has FG1 syndrome, and I'm an excellent carrier. Like many in the rare community, we face barriers on getting genetic testing. Gavin was born in a rural Indian healthcare services hospital, and his care was within that system. I felt alone and lost in a big system with no one to guide me. So I became an advocate so others did not have to face that same hard journey alone. Within my advocacy, I have worked a broad spectrum from being the vice president of A Twist of Fate, a nonprofit organization serving a rare disorder community, to lobbying on the Hill for the Orphan Drug Tax Act. My biggest achievement personally is launching the first rare disease work group in the Indian healthcare system. With the great support of my tribal nation, the Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma, we have not only celebrated Rare Disease Day, but we have raised awareness of rare disorders in Native populations. Our work group is changing how Native American rare disorder patients are treated in our healthcare systems. I want to thank NORD again for recognizing the work of advocates like me in the language of my people. Wado, NORD.
Neurofibromatosis 1, or NF1, is a rare progressive condition characterized by the development of multiple non-cancerous tumors of nerves and skin and abnormal skin pigmentation. NF1 is usually diagnosed in early childhood, impacting an estimated 1 in 3,000 infants. In April 2020, AstraZeneca received FDA approval for Koselugo for the treatment of pediatric patients with NF1, 2 years of age and older. Koselugo is the first drug approved by the FDA to treat this debilitating, progressive, and often disfiguring rare disease. Please welcome Philip Moss to present the 2021 Industry Innovation Award to AstraZeneca.
Hello, my name is Philip Moss, and I am 15 years old, living with neurofibromatosis type 1, an incurable genetic disorder that causes tumors to grow on the nerves of my body. I was diagnosed at age 6 after a plexiform tumor was found in my neck. The surgery failed and the tumor continued to grow, filling the right side of my neck, surrounding the carotid artery and threatening my airway. I was predicted to require a tracheotomy, suffer a stroke, or worse. Then in 2015, I enrolled in a clinical trial through the National Cancer Institute in Bethesda, Maryland. 6 years later, my tumor is now almost 60% smaller. So as you can see, I did not require a tracheotomy, and I'm still very much alive and well in my first year of high school. Then in April 2020, the drug Koselugo became the first FDA-approved drug to treat neurofibromatosis type 1. Now people can see me and not my tumor, so Grable could not begin to describe the impact this drug has had on my life. So on behalf of all people living with neurofibromatosis, it is my pleasure to present AstraZeneca with the NORD Industry Innovation Award.
Thank you, Philip, for that kind introduction, and to NORD for this meaningful recognition. I'm truly honored to accept the 2021 Industry Innovation Award on behalf of our team at AstraZeneca for our work bringing Koselugo to children with neurofibromatosis type 1, or NF1, who have plexiform neurofibromas. As many of you know, NF1 is a debilitating, incurable genetic condition that affects 1 in 3,000 children worldwide. Surgery is not always possible for these children due to the size or the location of tumors, and before the FDA approval of Koselugo, there were no medicines approved to treat this disease. Koselugo is the first treatment to demonstrate tumor shrinkage and quality of life improvement for these children, a huge step forward for this underserved patient community. We share your passion for improving the lives of individuals, their families, and the communities that are impacted by this rare disease. On a personal note, as I accept this award, I can't help but be reminded of my friend and colleague, Jose Baselga, AstraZeneca's former head of oncology R&D, who passed away just a few months ago. Jose was so committed to bringing this medicine to these children, as he knew it would be life-changing for them. He said that one of the best days he ever had with the company was the day when children with NF1 visited AstraZeneca and shared their experience. The whole auditorium was packed, and it was so important for us to see and hear firsthand what this medicine is doing for patients and families. He also used to say that rare diseases aren't that rare and affect many more people than you think. Sadly, we lost Jose himself to a rare disease, which makes the important work that NORD does even more meaningful to us at AstraZeneca in this moment. Achieving progress in rare diseases is a community effort. I want to take a moment to thank the true heroes and leaders of the community, each of you, the advocates, parents, caregivers, and of course the patients. Thank you for participating in clinical trials, for fiercely advocating for new treatments and equitable care, and for sharing insights and stories with us. Your commitment inspires us to push the boundaries of science and redefine care for patients. Thank you again for this very truly meaningful recognition.
Danielle's son is a true inspiration to all who meet her. Danielle joined the Wisconsin Rare Action Network in May 2018 as a volunteer state ambassador. Through her incredible advocacy work on newborn screening and educating elected officials on rare diseases, Danielle has successfully built a strong network of over 280 advocates throughout Wisconsin. She has worked tirelessly with state legislators and their staff on policy initiatives impacting the rare disease community, and is leading the Wisconsin Rare Action Network in building a coalition of groups and organizations to propose legislation for a new Rare Disease Advisory Council. NORD is honored to present a 2021 Rare Impact Award to Danielle's son.
I am honored and humbled to be a Rare Impact Award recipient. When I found out that I was receiving this award, I was quite surprised. I think because I have never viewed any advocating I've done as an independent accomplishment. We advocates stand on the shoulders of all who have gone before us and worked so diligently. We stand side by side with other advocates now, and it's through this community, this unified voice, that we are able to leave a positive mark. And I'm just grateful to be a part of it all. When both of our children were diagnosed with spinal muscular atrophy in 2013, we struggled with what the unknown of the future would bring to our lives and to theirs. But I quickly learned that our saving grace would be the connections and friendships we would make as a result of these diagnoses. I believe so firmly that this life is about connecting with others to show love, grace, and support. We first found these connections in Cure SMA and then in other SMA families. We will be forever changed for the better because we are a part of this community. And it is from a place of deep gratitude for these connections that I also want to thank the staff at NORD for their guidance as we work to better the lives of all rare patients and families. I also want to thank my fellow advocates in the great state of Wisconsin for their support and partnership. I can't wait to see what we accomplish together this year. And to my children, Ruby and Landon, and my husband, Terrence, thank you for being my reason for advocating and for helping me to learn just how wonderful life can be when we learn to embrace the unknown of it all and always move forward in hope. Thank you.
In 2005, Marlene Portnoy and Jeannie Whiting co-founded the Desmoid Tumor Research Foundation. DTRF started as two women working from their kitchen tables to transform their community through driving research. It initiated a groundbreaking project to develop the first validated patient-reported outcome tool in desmoid tumors and created the first ever U.S. patient registry specifically for desmoid tumor patients. Data from that registry is now part of another landmark global initiative, the Rare Disease Cures Accelerator, Data and Analytics Platform, or RDCA DAP. This seeks to use data across the rare landscape to speed clinical development of new treatments and drive innovation. DTRF has raised millions of dollars to fund cutting-edge research that is developing treatment options and uncovering new disease insights. In the community of rare diseases, DTRF has become known as a model of how patient advocates can power research through collaboration, making a significant impact in rare diseases and setting the standard for how the drug development process can be made better through direct and robust patient engagement at every level. NORD is pleased to present the Desmoid Tumor Research Foundation with the 2021 Abby S. Myers Leadership Award.
I'm Jeannie Whiting, and this is Marlene Portnoy. We are co-founders of the Desmoid Tumor Research Foundation. We give heartfelt thanks to NORD for this amazing honor. 15 years ago, we co-founded DTRF to advocate for and support patients, as well as to fund research for a cure. Since we are both personally connected to the disease, this has been a labor of love for us. But as all patient advocacy groups know, this work is truly a team effort. So we accept this award on behalf of all those who have helped make DTRF's progress possible, including our medical and scientific advisors, our researchers, our staff and volunteers who work tirelessly on behalf of patients, and our donors, and patients and caregivers who have helped raise funds for research and participated in important research projects. Marlene, your thoughts?
Thank you, Jeannie. I also would like to thank NORD for this great honor and for your guidance. Your programs have helped us expand our infrastructure and connections and have helped the patient's voice be heard. Our personal gratitude goes to our husbands and families who've been with us all the way, supporting our journey and helping us develop what many had told us was just an impossible dream. And that's a message I'd like to convey. It sounds cliche, but each of us individually and collectively can make a difference. Alone we are rare, together we are strong. May we all support each other in our rare disease journeys.
GIST, or gastrointestinal stromal tumors, are part of the sarcoma family of cancers that often begin in the walls of the gastrointestinal tract. The risk of GIST is increased by the presence of certain genetic mutations. In January 2020, the FDA approved Ayvakit for the treatment of adults with metastatic or inoperable GISTs. This approval includes GIST that harbors a PDGFRA D842V mutation, which does not respond to standard GIST therapies. Please welcome Karen Myers to present the 2021 Industry Innovation Award to Blueprint Medicines.
Good evening. 40 years ago, I was diagnosed with GIST. After surgery to remove an encapsulated tumor near my stomach, I was misdiagnosed and without further testing prescribed Gleevec. I don't know what made me uncomfortable. Maybe working in healthcare for people with developmental disabilities, or the comment from a doctor friend many years before about the importance of second opinions. Fortunately, my friend Nancy Harris, who has been involved with NORD since its inception, told me to call Mary Dunkel, who immediately gave me the contact information for the LifeRaft group. Through LifeRaft, I found Dr. Mackey, a GIST specialist who explained mutational testing, my exon 18 diagnosis, and its resistance to Gleevec. Although there was no medication for exon 18 patients, he told me about the encouraging results from clinical trials for Blue 285 at Blueprint Medicines in Cambridge, Massachusetts. I followed the progress of the trials, which gave me a positive focus. And when I met Jim Baker from Blueprint at the 2018 Life Fest in Miami, I even offered to switch from being a lifelong Yankee fan to a Red Sox fan if I needed to join the trials. My last MRI showed no evidence of disease, and thanks to Blueprint Medicines and the success with Advocate, I am hopeful, looking forward to enjoying my life and watching my grandchildren grow up. From the bottom of my heart, and on behalf of all people living with this rare GIST, it's my pleasure to present Blueprint Medicines with the NORD Industry Innovation Award.
Thank you, Karen. I am honored to accept the Rare Impact Award on behalf of Blueprint Medicines. Our entire Blueprint team, who we call the Blue Crew, joins me in expressing our gratitude to NORD for this recognition. Blueprint Medicines was formed with the vision that precision therapies are a powerful force in the fight against cancer. Cancer is fundamentally a genetic disease. This provides the opportunity for us to understand the genetic root cause driving cancer, also known as mutations, and to develop drugs which specifically target these root causes. From the outset, we believe by taking this unique approach, we could work to improve patient outcomes by developing the right drug for the right patient at the right time. Our scientific approach has enabled our company to bring 2 new innovative targeted medicines to patients globally over the past year. One of these therapies is Ayvakit, and the reason we are receiving this innovation award this evening. Ayvakit was developed to help meet the need for a treatment option for a rare form of unresectable or metastatic GIST driven by a PDGFR alpha exon 18 mutation. Cancer is a formidable foe, and we are grateful for the partnership and collaboration with both medical experts and patient disease experts, as well as patients, those who live with these rare diseases every day. We could not have developed this innovative therapy without the help of these communities. Together, we were able to achieve the shared goal of providing more treatment options for patients living with PDGFR alpha mutated GIST. Karen, we are deeply thankful to you, as well as all the patients and families who participated in our Ayvakit clinical trials. We would also like to thank NORD and the LifeRaft group for helping us understand what patients living with GIST need and what they value in new medicines. Those insights, perspectives, and unwavering support is what made this innovation in the treatment of GIST possible. We recently celebrated the 10-year anniversary of the founding of Blueprint Medicines. From the beginning, we believed that we had the incredible opportunity and responsibility to change what a diagnosis of cancer will mean for future generations. Cancer is not a static condition, it is a dynamic process. Therefore, we will constantly remind ourselves to be dynamic and agile in our approach as we look to respond to the new challenges cancer will inevitably pose. We will continue to embrace partnerships, to listen,
and to work to understand what is important to the communities we work with. Together, we can change what a diagnosis of cancer will mean for us in the future. Thank you all once again for this award.
Hi, I'm Denise Richards, and having a daughter with a rare chromosome disorder, I understand how challenging it can be. And I just wanted to congratulate the 2021 Rare Impact Award honorees and the National Organization for Rare Disorders for making a difference for those who need it most. Congratulations.
Thanks for that message of support, Denise. Another talented individual we have with us tonight is 13-year-old Daniela Delgado. She lives with severe von Willebrand type 1C and Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, but this hasn't slowed down her efforts to help her community by bringing smiles to the faces of kids with life-threatening illnesses and disabilities. Coming from a family of avid bakers, Daniela decided that creating special, customized cakes for these children was the best way she could realize her dream of seeing more smiles from kids facing difficult odds. That's how her own nonprofit organization, Daniela's Little Wish, was born. At her young age, Daniela's work outside of baking in advocating, educating, and raising awareness for the entire bleeding disorders community gives hope and inspiration to others living with painful and debilitating diseases. NORD is proud to present a 2021 Rare Impact Award to Daniela Delgado.
I am so honored and grateful to be a recipient of a 2021 NORD Rare Impact Award. This award means a lot to me because it's dedicated not only to my bleeding disorders community, but to the lives of the beautiful children with rare diseases that I've had the opportunity to meet in 10 years. I also want to honor all of the angels who have sadly lost their battles. As a teenager with severe von Willebrand's, a bleeding disorder, and Ehlers-Danlos, a connective tissue disorder, I made a wish when I was 4 years old. That wish was to bake smiles for children with life-threatening illnesses and to celebrate their birthdays with Nails at a Wish, the nonprofit organization that I founded in 2011. I also made a promise to advocate for children with rare diseases and disabilities, to educate the public by sharing their stories and challenges, bringing awareness to the importance of inclusion and equity, and advocating for proper treatments. My hope is that children with rare diseases can live a life without letting an illness and disability define who they are as a person. Thank you again for this award. It truly is an honor.
Patients with Hutchinson-Gilford progeria syndrome and progeria laminopathies experience accelerated cardiovascular disease from the buildup of defective progerin or progerin-like protein in cells. Most patients suffer from premature aging diseases and die before the age of 15 from heart failure, heart attack, or stroke. In November 2020, the FDA approved Zokinvy capsules to reduce the risk of death due to progeria and for the treatment of certain processing-deficient progeroid laminopathies in patients 1 year of age and older. It's the first approved treatment for these devastating and fatal diseases. Please welcome Audrey Gordon, who will present the 2021 Industry Innovation Award to Eiger Biopharmaceuticals.
I'm thrilled to introduce and congratulate Eiger Biopharmaceuticals in recognition of their extraordinary efforts resulting in the first ever FDA-approved treatment for progeria. Zokinvy has improved the lives of children with this ultra-rare, rapid aging condition by giving them stronger hearts and longer lives. Without treatment, children with progeria die of heart disease at an average age of 14 and a half years. In addition to improving the cardiovascular disease, Zokinvy increases average survival by 2.5 years. That's 20% more time for these inspiring children. Eiger partnered with the Progeria Research Foundation in 2018 and worked tirelessly with us to sponsor this breakthrough drug approval. They've opened managed access programs globally and work hard to assure that children have access to Zokinvy. We and the families impacted by progeria are extremely grateful for that partnership. On behalf of all children and young adults living with progeria, it is my pleasure to present Eiger Biopharmaceuticals with the NORD Industry Innovation Award.
Thank you, Audrey. On behalf of Eiger Biopharmaceuticals, I'd like to thank NORD for selecting our company as a 2021 Industry Innovation Award honoree. We were very pleased to receive FDA approval of Zokinvy for the treatment of 2 different indications, progeria and processing-deficient progeroid laminopathies. These are separate and distinct, ultra-rare, fatal, genetic, premature aging diseases that accelerate mortality in children and young adults. I've been fortunate to meet some of these children and young adults, and despite significant physical challenges at an early age, these children are extremely intelligent, courageous, and full of life. We were proud that Eiger's first NDA approval was for Zokinvy. More importantly, we at Eiger are encouraged that Zokinvy represents a major step forward for children and young adults living with progeria and processing-deficient progeroid laminopathies. Zokinvy is a disease-modifying agent which has demonstrated a survival benefit in children and young adults with progeria. We now have progeria patients that started taking Zokinvy in early clinical trials, now on continuous Zokinvy treatment for greater than 10 years, thriving into their late teens and into their 20s. The approval of Zokinvy is the culmination of a pioneering partnership between Eiger and the Progeria Research Foundation to bring the first approved therapy to the progeria community. I want to acknowledge the persistence and dedication of our partners at the PRF and Boston Children's Hospital. We are deeply appreciative of their commitment and extremely grateful to all the children, young adults, and their families who have made this possible by participating in Zokinvy clinical trials. I also want to thank my Eiger colleagues and the entire Progeria Project team, whose passion, dedication, and tireless efforts led to the long-awaited FDA approval. This same Eiger team is working closely with the EMA on the Zokinvy marketing authorization application, and we're planning for European approval of Zokinvy later this year. Thank you again, NORD, for selecting Eiger as a 2021 Industry Innovation Award honoree.
Nearly a decade ago, Robert Long's life was turned upside down when the All-American Syracuse football star was diagnosed with anaplastic astrocytoma, a rare and aggressive form of brain cancer. An experimental treatment was the key to his survival. Although it meant Rob had to give up his dream of playing in the NFL, he was inspired by the experience to give back to the rare disease community. As the executive director of Uplifting Athletes, he's not only connecting college athletes to the work of fighting rare diseases, but is also completely reimagining how we fund, elevate, and celebrate rare disease researchers through the Young Investigator Draft. Treating researchers like we do the gridiron heroes entering the NFL, giving them the funding, resources, and recognition they need on day one to be the champions that will uncover the next rare disease cure. NORD is honored to present a 2021 Rare Impact Award to Robert Long.
I'd like to thank NORD not only for this award, but for all that you do for the rare disease community. Back in 2016, when I was just getting started at Uplifting Athletes, I didn't have a large network in the rare disease community or a wealth of contacts to call on, but I was provided the opportunity to attend my first ever rare disease conference, and it was the NORD Summit in Washington, D.C. The friends and relationships that I made that day changed not only the course of my life, but the course of the Uplifting Athletes organization. So thank you for providing me that opportunity, and thank you for all that you do for the rare disease community. I know that it is my name that is on this award tonight, but it is really the tireless effort of the team at Uplifting Athletes that is responsible for all that we've been able to accomplish as an organization. I would be remiss not to acknowledge and thank our board and our staff Brett, John, Levi, Andy, and Karen for all of the time and effort that they've dedicated not only to uplifting athletes, but to the rare disease community. In closing, I believe that we're each capable of individual excellence, but if we choose, I believe that we can work together to collaborate, share ideas, thoughts, and listen to one another. We can create transformational change that will leave this world in a better place for us all. Thank you again to NORD. I am truly humbled by this honor and this award. Thank you.
Thyroid eye disease is a rare condition where the muscles and fatty tissues behind the eye become inflamed, causing the eyes to be pushed forward and bulge outwards. Tepezza, approved by the FDA in January 2020, is the first drug approved for treatment of this disease and has the potential to spare patients from multiple invasive surgeries by providing an alternative, non-surgical option. Please welcome Todd Thorne to present the 2021 Industry Innovation Award to Horizon Therapeutics.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Todd Thorne, and I'd like to thank NORD for inviting me to share my journey living with thyroid eye disease, also known as TED, and to celebrate recent developments in the treatment of TED. In late 2014, I began noticing changes in my eyes, like bulging and irritation. Soon thereafter, I was diagnosed with Graves' disease and ultimately with thyroid eye disease in 2015, and told I had no options for treatment at that time. But in 2020, Horizon Therapeutics started working with the TED community, and things changed. The support from Horizon extends beyond providing a therapy to people who previously were told to watch and wait as their disease progressed. From raising awareness and sharing educational resources to one-on-one support for patients desperate for answers, Horizon has given us a platform and elevated the voices of this community. On behalf of all the people living with thyroid eye disease, it is my pleasure to present CEO Tim Walbert and the rest of the Horizon Therapeutics with the NORD Industry Innovation Award.
Thank you, Todd. First, I'd like to express our gratitude to the National Organization for Rare Disorders for recognizing Tepezza as a 2021 Industry Innovation Award honoree. I speak for everyone at Horizon when I say that we are incredibly grateful for your leadership and steadfast commitment to the rare disease community. Your contributions to and impact on this community are unmatched. I would also like to thank the physicians and people living with thyroid eye disease who partnered with us on the clinical development program for Tepezza. Without their contributions, the FDA approval of Tepezza would not have been possible. As the first and only FDA-approved medicine for the treatment of thyroid eye disease, Tepezza not only addresses a significant unmet need, but it's also changing the scientific community's understanding of the disease and how it's being treated. With Tepezza, we now have a medicine that works within the body to treat the cause of thyroid eye disease, not just the symptoms. We have heard from countless patients about the impact Tepezza has had on their thyroid eye disease and their lives in general. Things that we all take for granted every day, like walking outside unaided or sleeping with our eyes shut, are huge barriers for many living with thyroid eye disease. And it's incredibly heartwarming to hear the happiness that someone has when they get those parts of their lives back thanks to our medicine. Thank you again for this recognition.
Mary Wooten joined the NORD Rare Action Network, or RAN, in 2018. And since her appointment as volunteer ambassador for New York, she has helped spearhead the growth of rare disease advocacy in her home state. She's actively garnered support from elected officials in Albany on step therapy and Rare Disease Advisory Council legislation, the latter of which was passed into law in 2020. As a result of her hard work and dedicated efforts, the New York Rare Action Network has grown to more than 1,000 individuals. She's an inspiration for other RAN leaders and advocates. NORD is proud to present Mary Wooten with a 2021 Rare Impact Award.
I stand before you today incredibly honored and humbled. My work as an advocate is not done for the recognition, but because of a vow I made to myself 8 years ago. My daughter Natalie had her feeding tube for a long and isolating 4 years before we met other people who fed like her. It was such a life-changing and empowering experience for our whole family. And at that moment, I made a promise that no matter a person's diagnosis, I would do my best to help them feel so not alone in their journey, to be the best resource I could, to be a voice for and with my children, to help others find their voice, and to build a networking community because there is strength in numbers. But I cannot do this alone. My family, friends, Girl Scout troop and community, the Oli Foundation staff and ambassador program, NORD and the Rare Action Network with Kristen, Rose, and Anissa to guide me, and my New York RAN team, Jessica and Sophia. They are my herd of zebras that make this advocacy work I ardently love so incredibly rewarding. Mother Teresa once said, "It's not how much we give, but how much love we put into giving." Thank you so much for this recognition.
In April 2020, the FDA granted accelerated approval to Pemazyre, the first treatment approved for adults with certain types of previously treated advanced cholangiocarcinoma, or bile duct cancer. Often at diagnosis, patients with this disease are no longer able to be treated through surgery, which left them with no FDA-approved options until now. Pemazyre is a tablet that works by blocking FGFR2 in tumor cells to prevent them from growing and spreading. Please welcome Jan Meyer to present the 2021 Industry Innovation Award to Insight.
Good evening. My name is Jan, and I'm a 50-year-old cholangiocarcinoma warrior in Wilmington, Delaware, the American headquarters for Insight. In late January 2018, a shadow was discovered on my liver during unrelated elective surgery. Thankfully, the doctor made the decision to abort the scheduled surgery and biopsy this shadow. Approximately 2 weeks later, I got that dreaded call. You have cholangiocarcinoma. A short time later, I was at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center undergoing a liver resection and then 6 months of chemotherapy based on the BILCAP study for mop-up. I'm currently NED, no evidence of disease. In April 2020, cholangiocarcinoma patients worldwide saw hope when Insight obtained the first and only FDA approval for their targeted drug, Pemazyre, for adults with cholangiocarcinoma that has spread or cannot be removed by surgery and whose tumors have a certain type of FGFR abnormality. Sadly, this incredible development was overshadowed by COVID, but as patients, we couldn't let this anniversary go unrecognized. So in what is believed to be the first ever patient-led initiative to say thank you to a drug company, we put up a billboard 0.5 miles from the Delaware Memorial Bridge to say just that. Thank you, Insight, for caring and for supporting patients with your amazing Insight Cares program and for your incredible development of Pemazyre. On behalf of all patients living with cholangiocarcinoma, AKA bile duct cancer, it is my distinct pleasure to present Insight with the NORD Industry Innovation Award. Congratulations.
Hello, I'm Hervé Opno, CEO of Insight. And first, I would like to thank NORD for elevating the voice of the rare disease community and advancing research and care on behalf of patients, because it is so important. So Insight, we are a company that is dedicated to science, discovery and development of new products. And in this process, last year, we received FDA approval from Pemazyre, also known as pemigatinib, as the first targeted treatment for patients with unresectable cholangiocarcinoma and an FGFR2 fusion or rearrangement, which is a key driver of the disease. Since then, in the US, it's around 8,000 people who are diagnosed every year with cholangiocarcinoma, and a fraction of them, probably around 1,000, have this type of fusion. Since then, we have received approval in Japan and Europe, And so we are in this situation where now we can provide this product to a large part of the world population. And obviously, we are very inspired by what we hear from the patients and their family on the importance for them of having these new treatments available. And it shows the impact that innovation can have on the life of patients. So I'm very honored to accept this 2021 Innovation Award for Pemazyre. And really, I do that on behalf of a team of chemists, biologists, MD, PhD, who have been working on this program for now a long time, because it started almost 10 years ago. And so from all of us at Insight, thank you again for this very important award, and congratulations to all the other honorees today.
Cam Redlosk is an industrial designer, artist, and writer living with G&E myopathy, a genetic muscle wasting disorder that's progressive. She's dedicated the past 10 years to raising awareness through her storytelling and her art. Cam's impact goes beyond the GNEM community. She's shared her struggles as well as her triumphs worldwide. Her wheelchair travels inspire both disabled and able-bodied individuals to understand that life is what we make it, and together we must live more. NORD is pleased to present Cam Redlosk with a 2021 Rare Impact Award.
Thank you, NORD, for presenting me with this wonderful Rare Impact honor and highlighting patient voices. For over 20 years, I've been living with G&E myopathy, a very rare genetic muscle wasting condition that's leading me to complete immobility. In spite of this, my voice has only gotten louder. When I realized how pertinent patient voices are for public awareness, I couldn't not get involved. I've been an advocate for 14 years using art, writing, travel, and tools that connect us as humans. Stories humanize us. They can educate and change minds. They can make ideas and people accessible, leading us to compassion, understanding, and connection. Stories can also bring us to moral grounds, the way we conduct our business, design political policy, or develop medical treatments. To see there are real stories and lives behind every single decision we make is really important. I think above all, whether facing disease or a disability, it's important to be proud of who you are and know you have the power to change minds. I'm excited to continue elevating rare diseases and disabled patient voices, and I hope you will join me in sharing our stories. Thank you so very much.
Susan Fernbach makes things happen. Her passion to provide genetic education for the community inspired her to chair the first Living with Congenital Heart Defects Parent Conference for Texas Children's Hospital, as well as create the Evenings with Genetics seminar series. She also organized Spanish language conferences with the Arc of Greater Houston, and together with two other geneticists, formed From Stress to Strength, a program for parents of children with developmental disabilities. Her work has created a vast network to provide education and resources for many families. NORD is honored to present Susan Fernbach with a 2021 Rare Impact Award.
Thank you, NORD, for this award. I have been passionate and committed to the care of children with rare diseases and their families for my entire career. 15 years ago, with the support of my chairman and department, I was able to begin a monthly series we call Evenings with Genetics. The seminars are open to the community, free, and held in the Children's Museum of Houston. However, this is only possible thanks to the geneticists and the family speakers who have shared their expertise, including a few children who decided that mom and dad weren't the only ones who could describe their family journey. The program has grown to include conferences in parts of Texas without genetic services, and despite the pandemic, the series continues in a video conference format. I love working with the Texas ambassadors for NORD to plan Rare Disease Day events, as well as the superb national leaders of NORD. It has been my greatest joy to be able to connect families and providers with information, resources, and support. Thank you for this wonderful honor.
Hi, I'm Tian T-Boz Watkins of the group TLC, and anyone who knows me knows I love anything that gives a person a better quality of life. So I've connected to the rare disease community, and I want to say congratulations to the 2021 Rare Impact Award honorees and the National Organization of Rare Disorders, NORD, N-O-R-D, for making a difference for those who need it most. And congratulations, and what you're doing is so amazing.
Thank you, T-Boz, for being part of tonight's celebration. Welcome back to the 2021 Rare Impact Awards. Just a quick reminder that if you'd like to support the work that NORD does 365 days a year, make a donation in honor of all of our rare heroes. Our next honoree is Dr. Kathleen Lutz, the Senior Director of the Mouse Repository and In Vivo Pharmacology at the Jackson Laboratory. She's dedicated years working towards life-saving rare disease research and personally oversees an impressive collection of unique strains and live colonies for distribution to the scientific community. Dr. Lutz's contribution is more than groundbreaking science. She truly understands the importance of showing families that she's in their corner. Her team created a blueprint to help families navigate this complex world of research by developing a systematic approach for rare disease drug discovery, all while meeting patients where they are. NORD is proud to present Dr. Kathleen Lutz with 2021 Rare Impact Award.
Thank you, Dr. White, and thank you, NORD, for this incredible honor. It's a pleasure to be here this evening and to hear your stories, to celebrate the progress we're all making in rare diseases. When I first started working in this field, the process of developing a mouse model, testing for drug efficacy, to move to clinical trials could take 10 to 15 years. Today, this process can take sometimes less than 2 years. and the time saved is invaluable in the rare disease research odyssey. At the Jackson Laboratory, I have the great privilege of collaborating every day with organizations and families just like yours. It's through these connections that we learn more about rare diseases to help us reach milestones like developing new treatments. This community can't stop the fight against rare diseases. With over 7,000 rare diseases, we have more work ahead of us. But I know that together, empowered by equal parts of scientific technology and determination, we will get there. Thank you, NORD, and congratulations to all of tonight's honorees.
In May 2020, Retevmo was approved to treat 3 types of tumors: non-small cell lung cancer, medullary thyroid cancer, and other types of thyroid cancers in patients whose tumors were caused by an abnormal RET gene. It's the first therapy approved specifically for cancer patients with RET gene alterations and gives options for treatments that were not previously available. Please welcome Aaliyah Bricker to present the 2021 Industry Innovation Award to Eli Lilly.
As a full-time physician and young mom with a 4-year-old at home, when I developed a dry cough towards the end of my pregnancy in late 2015, lung cancer was the furthest thought from my mind. Yet days after delivering my second daughter, I was diagnosed with stage 4 terminal lung cancer. I was 34 at the time and I had never smoked, yet it had already spread to my brain and to my bones. A quick Google search informed me that on average, I had about 6 to 12 months to get my affairs in order. Thankfully, biomarker testing of my tumor revealed that my lung cancer was driven by a RET mutation, rare overall, but a source of hope. By fall of 2017, my cancer had progressed through first-line chemo, immunotherapy, and a multi-kinase inhibitor, and I had lost all of my hair and become oxygen dependent while on second-line chemo. When the clinical trial for a first-of-its-kind RET-targeting agent, Retevmo or selpercatinib, became available at my hospital, I was the first to enroll. I started Retevmo in the fall of 2017, and within weeks, I was off of oxygen and able to go trick-or-treating with my young daughters. My daughters are now 5.5 and 10 years old. Retevmo quite literally saved my life, and I'm still on this drug today, now 5.5 years out from diagnosis. On behalf of all people living with RET-driven cancer, it is my pleasure and honor to present Eli Lilly with the 2021 NORD Industry Innovation Award.
Thank you so much, Aaliyah, for that powerful introduction. And thank you, NORD, for this recognition and for your unwavering commitment to individuals like Aaliyah that are living with rare diseases and the organizations that serve them. I am honored to accept the 2021 Industry Innovation Award for the development of Retevmo on behalf of our company and the team of innovators that dedicated themselves to bringing this novel therapy to Aaliyah and people living with certain RET-driven cancers across the globe. Retevmo was the first therapy approved specifically for patients with advanced RET fusion positive non-small cell lung cancer and RET altered thyroid cancers. It's an important step forward for these patients in the field of science known as precision medicine. Retevmo entered the Lilly Oncology pipeline following Lilly's acquisition of Loxo Oncology in early 2019. This medicine was developed in 3 years from the first patient dosed to its US approval under the FDA's accelerated approval regulations, with efforts ongoing to support its full approval. With this achievement, the Retevmo program delivered the most rapid timeline to date for the development of an oncology medicine with multiple indications. This unprecedented speed would not have been possible without tremendous cross-organizational collaboration, fueled by the collective goal of bringing a new therapy to patients who are waiting. And it reflects strong collaboration across teams at Loxo and Lilly Oncology, the FDA, and the medical community involved in this trial. But most importantly, it would not have been possible without the participants in the clinical trial and the loved ones who support them. As a company driven by its goal to deliver life-changing medicines to patients living with cancer, Lilly is immensely proud of the progress Retevmo is driving throughout the oncology space. On behalf of all of my colleagues at Lilly, thank you again for this honor and for all that you are doing to improve the lives of people around the world who are impacted by rare diseases.
Dr. Natasha Scher has been a clinical geneticist for over a decade. She also leads the telemedicine genetics program at the Rare Disease Institute. At the onset of the pandemic, and over the course of only a few days, she built the systems and support needed for an active in-home telemedicine program for the genetics clinical unit. This innovation is helping many families, including those living with a rare disease. Dr. Scher has been an expert voice within our community to help people understand and feel comfortable with the shift to telehealth. She sees this advancement as one that could be particularly significant to underserved communities that lack easy access to specialists. NORD is honored to present Dr. Natasha Scher with a 2021 Rare Impact Award.
I am extremely honored to be receiving such an important NORD 2021 Rare Impact Award. When my college roommate convinced me to volunteer at the local hospital, I was not expecting my whole life to change. However, within 1 week, a light bulb turned on and I would go on to pediatrics. In medical school, luck led me to my mentor, Dr. Robert Marion, a medical geneticist who inspired me to choose this profession. He would walk into the most challenging and complex situation and find a way to uplift everybody in the room. I try to carry forward that gift he gave me. As a mother and physician, rather than specialize in one disease or biochemical pathway, I have had a simpler focus. How can we make patients' and families' lives just a little bit easier? A child's work is to play. Our training and careers offer a fancy means to support the much more important jobs of our children, growing, exploring, and enjoying this world no matter what obstacles or rare diseases try to stop them. Many physician scientists have been focused on changing medical models to ease patient burden. In the last few years, in medical genetics, we at Children's National Hospital and beyond have made progress with innovations that incorporate telemedicine, swab kits instead of blood draws, and new educational apps that simplify genetics concepts. I remember when I had one of my hardest days in clinic, and on top of that, a flat tire. Coincidentally, one of my patients sent me a video of her baby who had been born with a congenital birth defect, but the baby was thriving. The baby was just laughing, and it was the world's best music. Every day, my patients and colleagues uplift me with their joy and humor. From my inspiring boss and head of the Rare Disease Institute, Dr. Marshall Summer, to our clinical director, Dr. Deborah Regier, to all my supporting colleagues. I work with brilliant doctors, genetic counselors, and dietitians who sparkle like holiday lights when they see their patients. It was Nelson Mandela who said, "There can be no keener revelation of a society's soul than the way in which it treats its children." Together with NORD and Children's National, we will continue to advocate and persevere in our belief that every child must be given the opportunity for the best life possible. We will work together to help make life just a little easier and better for one patient, one child, one family at a time. I am humbled and appreciative of this great honor. Thank you.
In October 2020, the FDA approved Inmazeb for the treatment of Zaire Ebola virus infection in adult and pediatric patients, including newborns of mothers who have tested positive for the infection. The FDA's approval of Inmazeb shows the power of public-private partnerships to bring forward critical treatments that improve global public health. Regeneron Pharmaceuticals will deliver Inmazeb to the Biomedical Advanced Research and Development Authority to help build preparedness for public health emergencies. I am pleased to introduce Dr. George Yankopoulos, the co-founder, president, and Chief Scientific Officer of Regeneron Pharmaceuticals, to accept the 2021 Industry Innovation Award.
On behalf of my colleagues at Regeneron, we are truly honored to be recognized with the National Organization for Rare Disorders 2021 Industry Innovation Award for our treatment for Ebola. Back in 2014, thousands of people were dying in the latest Ebola outbreak in West Africa. Thanks to technologies developed at Regeneron over many decades and the dedication of our leaders in this effort, including Christos Kyratsous, Leah Leipzig, Sumati Sivapalasangam, and Janie Perino, we were able to develop an antibody cocktail treatment for this terrible disease. Thank you for the award. In October of 2020, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration approved Inmazeb for the treatment of infection caused by Zaire Ebola virus in adult and pediatric patients. We are incredibly proud as this was the first FDA-approved treatment for Ebola. We are grateful for all the courageous healthcare providers, the patients, international health organizations, and governments who work together with Regeneron to make this breakthrough possible. In keeping with our mission and values, Regeneron is committed to making this important medicine available to the people who need it, and we continue to work with the U.S. government and non-governmental organizations to provide Inmazeb for ongoing Ebola outbreaks. Importantly, our work with Ebola set the stage for us to move even faster in our response to COVID-19. Our REGEN-COV antibody cocktail, which is authorized to treat COVID-19, is based on the same technologies that enabled us to fight Ebola. Regeneron pursues science to help patients, regardless of the number of people impacted. Inmazeb is not our only effort in the area of rare diseases. In fact, our first approved product back in 2008, Arcalyst, was for a rare cold-induced autoinflammatory disorder. And this year, we received approval for Evkeeza for the rare inherited cardiovascular disease, homozygous familial hypercholesterolemia. Regeneron also has a number of other rare disease products in development. We are proud to be in the company of the other honorees and are humbled to be recognized by the National Organization for Rare Disorders as an industry innovator for rare diseases.
Dr. Jason Siklik is a professor of surgery at Moores Cancer Center at UC San Diego. He's known as a highly skilled surgeon, a brilliant translational scientist, and an extremely compassionate clinician. Dr. Siklik is making significant contributions to the gastrointestinal stromal tumor, or GIST community, and to rare diseases as a whole. In the United States, there are approximately 4,000 to 6,000 cases of GIST diagnosed each year. There are approximately 150 to 200 annual cases of the even rarer hereditary subset known as SDH deficient GIST that usually affects adolescents and young adults. As one of the founding members of the Life Raft Group's SDH consortium, he's part of a group of GIST experts working together with the ultimate goal of finding a cure through global collaboration. NORD is proud to present Dr. Jason Siklik with a 2021 Rare Impact Award.
It's truly an honor to be amongst a diverse group of worthy honorees receiving the NORD Rare Impact Award. Each of us, like NORD, is committed to the identification, treatment, and cure of rare disorders. Whether we're patient advocates, physicians, scientists, or leaders in the business of curing rare diseases, the only way we can push forward towards discovery and healing is through the kind of collaboration and recognition that's championed by NORD. Like all of you, I draw inspiration from my patients and their caregivers. My research is informed by what I see in practice with the goal of bringing that understanding and those cures back to the bedside. My practice focuses on a rare cancer called gastrointestinal stromal tumor, or GIST. In the early 2000s, this disease set the stage for precision oncology. Despite its relative infrequency, GIST taught the entire oncology community about a new paradigm for treating solid cancers. 20 years later, our group and others began to see that the old drugs were ineffective against even rarer subsets of this rare disease. Instead of moving on and studying something else more common, we used what we were learning about these variations to hone and personalize precision treatments. Now we can perform genomic testing and identify drug targets that match newer therapies. It's easy to think that every cancer type has the same biology. In reality, no two cancers are the same. Even distinct tumors in the same patient are different. Every cancer diagnosis, whether rare or common, is in fact unique. Each patient's care needs to be customized for them and their tumor biology. Hopefully, as we unravel disease genetics and biology with newer technologies that are in step with the rapidly growing repertoire of new drugs, we can bridge the divide. With the help of all the organizations represented by NORD, we can turn rare into unique. Again, I'm honored to be recognized and to be in the company of so many passionate people. Thank you all for being vocal and for pushing discovery and for inspiring us as physicians and scientists. Thank you.
In December 2020, the FDA approved Ebanga for the treatment of Zaire Ebola virus in adult and pediatric patients, including newborns with mothers who test positive for the virus. The PALM study team conclusively demonstrated Ebanga's safety and efficacy in a randomized controlled trial conducted during one of the largest and longest outbreaks in the Democratic Republic of Congo's history. Please welcome Sabui Milangu to present the 2021 Industry Innovation Award to Ridgeback Biotherapeutics.
Ebola virus is associated with a severe and acute disease with a mortality rate up to 90% within 10 days of disease onset. For more than 40 years, no specific treatments were available for Ebola patients. During the second largest Ebola outbreak that occurred in the east part of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, experimental treatments were administered to Ebola patients. There, I had the privilege to lead a group of clinicians who, for the first time, administered an Ebola experimental monoclonal antibody called Ebanga. When we arrived at a small hospital in Mangina village, 80% of the healthcare workers suffered from Ebola. At that time, the mortality rate was 67%, meaning that 2 out of 3 patients were dying from the disease. Upon our arrival, we managed to administer Ebanga to 12 healthcare workers, and amazingly, they all recovered. This experience has been a really game changer since it was our proof of concept that encouraged more use of experimental treatment, and it eventually led to the implementation of a clinical trial that proved the efficacy of Ebanga against Ebola in August 2019. From that moment, Wendy Ullman and Ridgeback Biotherapeutics play a crucial role to bring Ebanga to licensure by filing a biologics licensure application with the FDA. Since December 2020, Ebanga is now an approved treatment, thanks to Ridgeback. This means many people at risk of Ebola virus are no longer hopeless. That is why I'm very proud to present this 2021 Industry Innovation Award to Ridgeback Biotherapeutics. Thank you.
Thank you, Subway. What an honor it is to be presented this award from you, a distinguished physician who has served so many patients in so many Ebola outbreaks. Thank you to the National Organization for Rare Disorders for honoring the work that we do at Ridgeback Bio. NORD's dedication to patient advocacy has transformed the lives of so many patients and their families. I accept this award on behalf of the team at Ridgeback Bio. We accept this in honor of the patients, families, clinicians, and researchers who have made Ebanga become a reality. Ebanga is a potent and life-saving treatment for patients with Ebola. Ebanga's success is due to the incredible partnership that exists between industry, which is us at Ridgeback Bio, the brilliance of Drs. Sullivan, Meskel, and Fauci, and the team at NIAID, and the vision of Professor Mayembe and his team at the INRB in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. This cross-border and cross-discipline partnership was created with one goal and one goal only: to serve patients living with Ebola and turn their diagnosis from a death sentence to a curable disease. The science and innovation which drove Abando's success would have never been possible if not for the trust of the patients and their families, who allowed us to test a new therapeutic without promises, but only big hopes for the future. We at Ridgeback Bio are focused on finding cures for diseases that need champions. We fight for our patients every day, and in doing this, we fulfill our mission of making the world a little better, day by day, patient by patient. Thank you again for this tremendous honor. It charges us to move forward and stay true to our mission.
Now I'd like to welcome back NORD's President and CEO, Peter Saltonstall, to present the final award of the evening. Peter, take it away.
Thank you, Dr. White. I'm honored to present Peter Marks with the 2021 Public Health Leadership Award. Dr. Marks received his graduate degree in cell and molecular biology and his medical degree at NYU. Dr. Marks is board certified in internal medicine, hematology, and medical oncology, and is a fellow of the American College of Physicians. In 2012, he joined the FDA as Deputy Center Director for the Center for Biologics Evaluation and Research, becoming its director in 2016. CBER has been a leader in the fight against COVID-19, reviewing and authorizing vaccines and therapies to combat the pandemic, all while continuing to work to improve treatments that fight rare diseases. It's my pleasure to present the 2021 Public Health Leadership Award to my friend, Dr. Peter Marks.
My sincerest thanks go out to NORD for the 2021 Public Health Leadership Award, which is such a great honor to receive. To be recognized by NORD, an organization so completely devoted to improving the lives of millions of people affected by hundreds and hundreds of rare diseases, means so much to me. And it's so great to be recognized for the work that we've been doing to try to better facilitate and expedite the development of safe and effective therapies. During the past year, during the COVID-19 pandemic, working with our academic, industrial, and patient partners, we have continued to work to advance the pathway for individualized therapies. And though we've not yet mastered everything, we've made significant forward progress. Making this forward progress has obviously only been possible because of a joint effort. And I must acknowledge that this award really recognizes the work of a team of individuals, including many of those at FDA. And we all remain totally committed to advancing the development of medical products for rare disorders. So in concluding my remarks, I just want to reaffirm that as we come through this pandemic, we will continue to work tirelessly to advance medical products to bring benefit to those with rare disorders. Once again, I want to express my gratitude to NORD. Thank you.
Tonight we have celebrated some very special people and organizations who are working tirelessly toward a brighter future for every person living with a rare disease. They have shown us that through perseverance, determination, and teamwork, incredible achievements are possible. It's a great reminder, especially in these difficult times, that together we can create real change in our world and for the rare disease community. As they say at NORD, alone we are rare, together we are strong. Just a reminder that if you'd like to contribute to NORD's programs and services in support of the rare disease community, we welcome your charitable donation. It's been a real privilege to share this special evening with you. Thank you for joining us.
Like a